Oh, hey everybody, Phil from Two Forks. So recently I had to replace the windows in my house, which really stunk, but had to be done. And in doing so, I had to replace my interior trim. And I wanted to do something a little bit different for the apron, the piece that goes underneath they call it a stool. I'm just going to call it an interior sill. So the little jobber underneath the sill there. Typically I've seen a lot of interior trim guys, they just take the casing and then underneath the sill, they turn the casing upside down and sort of cut the corners at like 15 degrees and call it good. At least that's what I saw a lot out west. I used to live in Colorado in those big housing developments. That's almost exclusively what I saw. And I just thought that was kind of lazy. So in my house, I didn't want to do that. So I came up with something a little bit different, and I like it, and I'll show it to you in a second. And if you like it, then follow along. This is going to be a quick video. It's super easy. Yeah, so let's pop upstairs and I'll show you what I have for my aprons, and if you like it, follow along. All right, so here it is. For the three guys who actually watch my videos, you might be able to figure out what this is, but maybe not. Anyway, I think it adds a little bit of a detail, something a little bit more interesting than just taking the casing and turning it upside down and clipping the corners on it. And as you can see, there's a little bit of return, so it gives it a little bit of depth. I don't know, I think it's a lot more interesting than what I said before, just turning the casing upside down. So anyway, this is it. I hope you like it. If you like it, then watch the rest of the video. I'll show you how to do it. If you don't, then go watch one of my other videos. Anyway, let's go back down into the shop and I'll show you how this is made. Whew. Did you guess? Did you guess that it was crown? Crown turned upside down. Turn that frown upside down. That's what we did. Got this 4.5 inch crown, I think it is. This is just prime finger joint. It's not expensive stuff. Get it just about anywhere. And we just cut that edge right off, right above that little detail right there. And we ended up with this guy. So yeah, I don't think it's too obvious that it was crown. But how you do it, basically it's pretty easy. We cut this, when you cut this top detail off, cut it at 15 degrees. That way it tilts out, and but it'll still sit nice and flush up to the bottom of your sill. So yeah, 15. If you want to do 16 or 14 or whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it. The steeper you cut it, obviously the more it's going to lean out. So I find 15 to be just about the right compromise. And then this angle over here also happens to be leaning out at 15 degrees. So just set your chops off, put the table at 15 degrees, and then tilt it over at 45 degrees to cut that part back that's going to go towards the wall. Easy, make that cut, and then you're going to need the return, and the return for this side is the other side. So make this cut the same as you'd make that cut, except the other way, obviously. And then you're going to want to cut it from the short point on the bottom straight up that way. This is going to be cut square because it's going to be sitting back against the wall. A normal return, and you guys know this, the normal return you'd cut right along that line right there, and it would sit on there if it was square. But because we're tilted out a little bit, this one looks like this. And then you end up with this little jobber. So that's the part that I'm talking about. You're going to cut it right from that short little part on there. Some of these may change. If you've got a little something going on in your wall, this may have to be a little bit longer to return to the wall, or you caulk it. But let's not put too much caulk on these things. So if this doesn't return far enough, just cut another one. It's obviously not too challenging. And you'll end up with this little return that returns back to the wall. This is leaning out 15 degrees, and you got this guy on here. Just shoot it on with a couple pins and some glue, and there you have it. And then I just pretty much just shoot this into the studs, the cripples, or the sill, or whatever you can shoot it into. And then I actually shoot my sill down into this and put glue on it, and then it all sort of forms one big thing and works out pretty well. I wouldn't have any giant fat cat sitting on it if you make a big sill or something like that. I don't know if this is going to hold at all, but for something short like that, it's coming off 1.5 inches or something like that, 1.75 inches, this works out pretty perfectly. If you've got a longer sill, maybe you do want to tilt this out, but you can mess around with all of those things. But yeah, so that's how I do it. It's a pretty easy thing, and I recommend it. It actually adds more than you think to the window. When you look at it, it just adds a little bit of elegance difference to it, I think, than rather than just taking your casing and turning it upside down and cutting this little angle and plop, because you get no relief. There's no angle or anything. It's just, it looks lazy. Don't be lazy. Do this. Give this a try. Like I said, not expensive, not hard to do. Just follow what I told you. So anyway, hope you give it a try. Hope you liked it. And that's kind of a fun thing to do. So anyway, stay peaceful, everybody. And I'll see you in the next one.